All right, gang, this is lesson 1.2b. We are going to be using segments and congruence. It is a continuation of yesterday's lesson where we talked about segment addition. We are going to be adding to that. Today our goal is to find segment lengths by using segment addition and congruence. Congruence is going to be the new vocabulary that we're going to talk about today, and make sure that we can apply that. So let's go down to this first section here. Congruent. The definition of congruent is same size and same shape. Two congruent things are two things that are exactly the same. Identical twins are congruent. They look the exact same, they have the same DNA, everything about them is the same. It would be like copying and pasting on your computer. When you copy it and paste it, you get something that is exactly the same as what we talked about, or as what we looked at in our first picture. The symbol for congruent is an equal sign with a little squiggle over the top. This guy right here is the symbol you have to make sure that you know for congruent. This is for sure something that you have to know. When you're talking about congruent, you're going to see it all over your assignments. This first little example that I have here asks us to compare and contrast notation and meaning. So we have two things that we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about the length, and we're going to talk about the segments being congruent. Those are the two things. All right? Notation is the important thing that we need to make sure that we get through here. When you look at these two pictures, you notice that we have the tick marks right here on the middle. Those tick marks are something that you put on a figure, a segment, if they are exactly the same. From A to B is exactly the same as from C to D. So, when we say the lengths are equal, we are saying that AB is equal to CD. When we say the segments are congruent, we say that segment AB is congruent to segment CD. Now, what I want you to notice is that there's some differences in these statements. Notice that we have an equal on this side. We have a congruent on this side. Notice over here, we didn't put any bars above the top. And on this one, we did put the bars on the top. So, when you have equal, you always have no bars on your letters. When you have congruent, we are talking about the shape, and that means you have to have a bar. We are talking about the actual picture. The lengths are equal. From here to here, I can say measures 5. That means from C to D, I could say that must also be 5 because they are exactly congruent, the same size and the same shape. If I took segment C and I wanted to compare it to AB, notice that they are the exact same size and same shape. What I want you to do now is pause this. You can go down and try some of the practice problems. Otherwise, you can pick me up in the next video and we can work through those.